Pop culture fans love to come up with theories regarding their favorite movies. Whether it be theories about movies they've already seen or theories about what might happen in an existing franchise going forward, there's no stopping the mind of a fan from working overtime. 99% of the time, those theories come to nothing more than that. However, every now and then they turn out to be true. In this video, we'll take a look at just a few examples of when that happened. By the way, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and join the notification squad to make sure that you're always up to date with our great new videos. And before we start, can you guess the movie from these emojis? Stay tuned for the answer at the end of our video, and be sure to keep watching for fun trivia questions and fun facts along the way. All of Quentin Tarantino's movies share the same universe. The genius that is Quentin Tarantino is responsible for a number of classic movies. The likes of Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, and Django Unchained are all Tarantino creations and all have similar vibes. Tonally, they're very, very different, but there's just something about them that seems to relate to the others. So it's no surprise that fans have theorized that they all share the same universe. Of course, there's also the fact that Red Apple cigarettes appear in almost all of Tarantino's movies, and a number of characters in the different movies have the same surnames. Donnie and Lee Donovitz from Inglourious Basterds and True Romance, respectively, and Pete and Archie Hickox from The Hateful Eight and Inglourious Basterds, for example. This has led to the shared universe theory being confirmed by Tarantino himself, but it's a little different to other cinematic universes. The legendary director explained that there are actually two distinct universes, one inhabited by the movie characters, then a movie universe within that universe. So basically, when the characters from Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction go to the cinema, they watch Kill Bill and From Dusk Till Dawn. Interesting, right? Frozen and Tarzan take place in the same universe. It has long been established that 2010's Tangled and 2013's Frozen take place in the same universe. This was confirmed when two of Tangled's key characters, Rapunzel and Flynn Rider, made brief appearances in Frozen. However, it has also long been theorized that Tarzan takes place in that same universe, and that theory has recently been confirmed to be true. The theory suggested that Anna and Elsa's parents were shipwrecked on a jungle island at the start of Tarzan. They then had another baby, and as a result, Tarzan is the younger brother of the two Frozen princesses. It was revealed to be true in a Reddit AMA when Frozen co-directors Jennifer Lee and Chris Buck, the latter who also directed Tarzan, spoke to fans about it. Buck explained that they didn't die on the boat, but simply got washed up on a jungle island shore. The queen birthed a bouncing baby boy, they built a treehouse to live in, and then got eaten by a leopard. A year later, during an interview, Buck doubly confirmed it by explaining further how their baby boy was raised by gorillas after the tragic deaths. Then again, he also suggested that the penguins from Surf's Up, which isn't even a Disney movie, live on the other side of the same island, so maybe he's actually just an insane lunatic. The genie and peddler are one and the same in Aladdin. Ever since the Disney classic Aladdin was first released way back in '92, a very popular fan theory has suggested that the peddler seen in the opening scenes of the movie is actually the genie, the movie's hilarious main supporting character. There were a number of reasons that the theory came to be, the main two being that both characters were voiced by the late great Robin Williams, and the two characters are the only ones who address the audience directly in the whole movie. Aladdin's co-directors Ron Clements and John Musker confirmed the theory was true in 2015. Clements said he saw something that theorized that the peddler at the beginning of Aladdin was actually the genie. Can you imagine that? Well, that's actually really the case, and was the intention all along. In fact, the original plan was for the peddler to reveal himself as the genie at the movie's climax, but the reveal was lost during the editing process. As a matter of fact, the original work print ending of Aladdin actually included an additional scene which had the peddler revealing his true identity, proving the idea had indeed been in place since the very beginning. Robocop is about Jesus Christ. Given how violent and profanity-filled 1987's Robocop is, it's not immediately obvious that it might actually be a story about a Christ figure. However, after its release, several theories began to develop and emerge about the parallels between the cyborg police officer and the central figure of Christianity. And they turned out to be true. Robocop is about Jesus. Ignoring the Detroit setting and the aforementioned violence and profanity, it actually makes a lot of sense. Robocop is about a man who was brutally executed, then comes back from the dead to save people from evil. It wasn't until 2010, however, that the movie's director Paul Verhoeven confirmed this theory. Verhoeven said that the entire point of Robocop is that it's a Christ story. He described how it was about a guy who gets crucified in the first half of the story, then resurrected in the second, before becoming the super cop of the world, which essentially makes him a Jesus figure, especially when he walks over water at the end. So, Alex Murphy is Jesus. Who would have thought it back in 1987 when they first watched it? Not me, that's for sure. Heck, I wasn't even born. Jesus Christ was an engineer. Speaking of Jesus, not long after Ridley Scott's 2012 alien prequel Prometheus was released, fans started theorizing that the engineer character was actually Jesus Christ. The theory started on LiveJournal, and it actually turned out to be true. From the movie's very conception, Scott intended for it to be far more than just a prequel to his classic sci-fi horror. Scott wanted the engineers to be the beings who originally created humanity on Earth, but when mankind evolved into creators of war and chaos, they sent another engineer, Jesus Christ himself, to make things right again. What actually happened instead is that humanity, well, crucified him. That was the initial plan, but Scott ended up opting to make the Christ analogy more ambiguous than originally conceived, because he thought it would have been a little bit too on the nose in the form of his original idea. Regarding the engineers' plans to make things right, Scott said in an interview that the engineers thought to themselves, "Let's send down one more of our emissaries to see if he can't stop it." Guess what? They crucified him. Deckard is a replicant. We're back with Ridley Scott again now, and this time it's regarding a theory about his classic 1982 sci-fi movie, Blade Runner. The confirmation of this theory was one of the more controversial on this list, as the theory only came about because of how ambiguous the movie was about the subject itself, and the ambiguity was part of the movie's charm. It concerns Harrison Ford's character, Rick Deckard, and whether or not he was a replicant, a type of bioengineered being that was very prominent in the movie. Countless fans believe that he was indeed a replicant, and there are plenty of clues peppered throughout the movie that suggest it was the case. But the movie intentionally remained vague on the matter. Then, in the year 2000, Ridley Scott put everyone straight on the matter, saying that yes, of course Deckard was a replicant. Such was the controversy surrounding this announcement, some fans refused to believe it, saying that the movie and only the movie could speak for itself, and that Scott's statement was irrelevant. Maybe the truth will be explained further in Blade Runner 2, which comes out in October of 2017. Dumbledore is death. Hermione tells Harry the tale of the three brothers, a fable that explained the Deathly Hallows and followed three brothers who came across the living embodiment of death whilst trying to cross a river. Feeling cheated that the brothers used magic to cross, Death gave them gifts for outsmarting him. The oldest brother received a powerful wand, for which he was murdered for when he reached town. The next brother received a stone that gave him the ability to bring back his dead lover, whose ghost disappeared as soon as she was revived, resulting in that brother ending his life to join her. The youngest, more humble brother received an invisibility cloak to hide from death until it was time to die. When that time came, he went willingly with him as an old friend. As a result of that, a theory suggested that the brothers represented characters in the Harry Potter series. Voldemort being the first brother who died for power, Severus Snape being the brother who died for his long-lost love, and Harry Potter being the third who greeted death like an old friend. Another theory suggested Death might be Dumbledore, as he ended up meeting Harry in the afterlife and possessed the Elder Wand, stone, and the invisibility cloak throughout the series. J.K. Rowling herself chimed in tweeting, "Dumbledore is death." It's a beautiful theory, and it fits. While that doesn't 100% confirm the theory, Rowling is saying, "That works for me, and that is good enough for us." Harry Potter is a Horcrux. Staying with the Harry Potter franchise, one popular theory about the character himself stated that he was actually one of Lord Voldemort's Horcruxes. In this instance, the fans were right yet again. For those not familiar with Horcruxes, they are objects in which a dark wizard or witch has hidden a fragment of his or her soul for the purpose of attaining immortality. The Harry Potter story explicitly spells out how Voldemort accidentally transferred a part of his soul into Harry when he failed to kill him, which inadvertently created a very powerful and very awkward and very unwanted bond between the two mortal enemies that could only be broken by the other's death. It explains the mental connection the two powerful opposing wizards had, and also solidifies Professor Trelawney's prophecy. Consequently, while this theory may have sounded absolutely insane when it first came to light, it does actually make for a pretty satisfying conclusion to the Harry Potter story. Stan Lee plays the same character in every MCU movie. It is now customary for Marvel legend Stan Lee to cameo in live-action Marvel properties. It's something he's been doing on and off for many years, but in Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, he has a 100% record. For years, that led to MCU fans theorizing that Lee was actually playing the same character, which in turn led to some people believing he may have been a Watcher, a cosmic being from the comic books whose job was to observe the universe. While that last specific theory didn't turn out to be very true, 2017's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 did confirmed that the initial theory was. Lee appeared in two scenes, one in the main body of the movie, another in the credits, as an astronaut, describing his various experiences on Earth to a group of Watchers. As it turns out, Lee wasn't a Watcher, but he was playing the same character observing Earth on the Watchers' behalf in every one of his MCU appearances since 2008's Iron Man. Cars is set in a universe where vehicles overthrew mankind. In Pixar's Cars universe, a burning question for many years has been, where are all the people? Unsurprisingly, this has led to theorists suggesting that the cars in said universe had rid the world of mankind prior to the events of the first movie. Astonishingly, Jay Ward, the creative director of the Cars franchise, confirmed this theory in a recent interview, explaining how the cars got smarter and smarter and began to wonder just why they needed humans anymore, which resulted in them getting rid of their creators. So there you have it. The Cars universe is a much darker place than the children who watch it could ever imagine it to be. Lightning McQueen, Doc Hudson, and their automotive pals are all mass murderers. Ward also went on to say that the vehicles in the Cars movies take on the personalities of the last people who drove them, which is incredibly creepy if you think about it. I bet you'll never see those movies in the same way again. Thanks for watching our video about 10 shocking movie theories that actually turned out to be true. We hope you enjoyed it. And the answer to the movie emoji is... Did you get the right answer? Let us know in the comments below. And make sure you subscribe to our channel and sign up for notifications so you never miss an upload. If you like this video, check out our buddies over at CBR. Their videos cover the entire pop culture spectrum and are just as great as ours. Have a good one.